Howdy y'all, this is David Lee Kreitz, and the video that you're about to see is a raw, unedited Facebook Live video that I did right after the incident occurred. It was at an event that I was doing, and this thing just kind of happened to me, and you can tell I'm still trying to process it there. In fact, even now, almost a week later, I'm still trying to process it. Some of these things are pretty significant in the grand scheme of things. Some of these events just come and go, and you don't even really think about it. It just was a wow, that's kind of cool moment, and then you go on. But in this case, I felt like it was something that was significant enough I needed to document it, and I still feel that that's the case. And so this is a kind of an introduction to it, and you're going to see the entire unedited Facebook Live video, and then afterwards I have a couple of comments that I want to throw out as well. So, and then I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel and things like that. So there it is. Enjoy the view. So I see these people doing live videos in their car, and I keep thinking, how stupid can that be? I mean, you know, you're doing this video while you're driving along. I mean, pay attention to what you're doing. Well, I'm in my car, but I'm sitting in a parking lot, so I'm not driving along. I just finished an event, and this thing's been kind of bugging me that's happened today, and I want to say something about it. And so this is the venue that I've chosen to say it. I'm in an event, and I'm promoting my business, and I don't want to cloud the issue with or my discussion with any of that. That's where I am, and coming towards my table was a really attractive 20-something female, long red hair, very nice looking, with she's pushing a baby stroller, and her husband is there with her. He's got a U.S. Air Force shirt, and that kind of stuff, and so they're coming towards me, and as they're walking in my direction, this name just kind of explodes in my mind, Gwendolyn Montgomery, and I thought, well, that's freaking strange. I haven't thought of this girl in for freaking ever. The last time I saw her was 1973. After what was my sophomore year in high school, I think her junior or her senior year in high school. So she had just graduated, and she was one of those people that was she was really attractive. Nice looking, all of the kind of, the stuff that a high school sophomore would think, but she was more than that. She had poise and charm, and she had a sense of humor, and she was everything she tried, she succeeded at, but she was nice to everybody that she came into contact with, even some dinky little sophomore. She was just an all-around incredible person, and this name just exploded in my mind. And I'm looking at this girl, and I don't even remember what Gwendolyn looked like. I don't even know why this name popped up. But she came to the table that I was at, and we were talking, and I just looked at her and I said, this is going to be way out in left field, but just out of idle curiosity, was your mom's maiden name Gwendolyn Montgomery? And she looks at me and she says, "Oh, Aunt Gwen." Are you freaking kidding? Sure, Aunt Gwen. That's cool. There's this concept about the like, what is that, 7 degrees of separation, that somebody knows somebody that knows somebody, and eventually everybody on the planet. Well, so just by sheer dumb luck, I guess, I ran into Gwendolyn Montgomery's niece. Gotta love it. Well, Okay, cool. So, how's she doing? She's gone. I'm thinking, gone? I mean, like, that she would only be 64, maybe 65. You know, I'm still, in my mind, I'm still baffled with this concept that this random person that walked up to my table knows the person that this random name that just jumped into my head. I know people who know lots of people, and those people know lots of people. So I can see that, but this is an obscure person that I knew when I lived in Ramstein, Germany, and we both went to Kaiserslautern High School back in the freaking 70s. And now, not only do I find out that, yeah, she knew her, but she's gone. Well, what happened? Well, we don't really know. She kind of died under mysterious circumstances. You know, some people are kind of wondering. And I said, and I caught the vision of what she was trying to say. You're not trying to, like, tell me she suicided. Well, we don't know. So, I mean, what about her family? Well, she never got married. She talked about all the boyfriends she had in high school and all the boyfriends she had in college, but everybody just kind of took advantage of her, and she never got married. She just, and basically this girl looked at me and she said, she basically died a miserable, lonely person. I don't know why, but, you know, 35 years ago, I knew this person for a year and a half. Why is that? Why is that hitting me at this moment? All of these years later, why on earth does that mean anything to me? And but for some reason it hit me. What she died this fantastic person, she died a miserable, lonely life. I couldn't grasp that. And as we were talking, basically the reason we were talking is because she came to my booth and I'm promoting my business. And so, I mean, there's other things that are going on in this conversation. I remembered very distinctly the last memory that I had of this person. It was either as school was out or right after graduation and school was over. I'd finished my sophomore year in high school, and I was getting ready to. My dad was getting ready to be stationed or transferred back to the U.S. She had finished high school, and so she was going to college. We had this conversation, and we were sitting there, and I was talking to her. She was one of those. Remember, I said she was one of those incredibly nice people, and she was giving quality time to a sophomore kid. I had been kind of the mascot for the volleyball team that she was on, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, we knew each other, but we weren't more than just people that knew each other. And we were talking, and I had this thought, you know, I really ought to tell her. I mean, there's absolutely no chance that we'll go on a date or that there will be anything romantic or anything going on. But I really ought to at least just tell her that I think she's a pretty magnificent person. But I'm a sophomore in high school, and I really don't do the whole emotion thing real well anyway. You know, it's more than just being a dude. You know, I don't do emotions really well. So I really couldn't explain it to her. I just couldn't tell her. I didn't have the words. I didn't have the grasp of expression that would allow me to say anything. And so I just didn't. I sat there and we talked for a few minutes, and then it was done, you know, and she went her way, I went my way. Why 35 years later a random stranger walking up to my table makes this name explode into my head, and why she knows her and then tells me this thing that and why it is that she tells me that this random person that I kind of sort of knew 3.5 decades ago has any meaning to me. I really can't explain it, but I know it did. You know, this really touched me. I can't even explain why, and I don't even know what it means. But 35 years ago, I had a chance to say something to this person, and I didn't. I didn't know how. Even if I tried, I would have probably bumbled through it, and she wouldn't have understood what I was trying to say. So I'm not thinking that basically I could have impacted her life. Nothing would have happened from, there would have been no heavenly manifestations if I had been able to say something. But I just wonder how many times in her life there was somebody who thought she was magnificent and they just didn't tell her. And she just kept maybe latching on to people who took advantage of her instead. And so she lived this life not knowing really that there were people out there that thought she was this magnificent person. Maybe when we get that little impression that says you need to tell somebody that you think they're a magnificent person, that they're okay, that they're good, that they're somebody you look up to. Maybe when that impression comes, we need to shut up and listen. I doubt if I would have made any lasting impression in her life. Like I said, I barely even remembered, I haven't thought about her. She isn't somebody that I've dwelled on all of these years. But it's somewhere in the back of my head, she stayed there, because when this girl walked up to my table, boom, out exploded her name. And I'm asking her, is your mom Gwendolyn Montgomery? When I asked the question, the name surprised me that I even remembered the name. Since in the 3 hours since then, I've gone back trying to think of other people that I remembered from that year in high school, and I can't dredge up more than a couple of other names. And so I just, why this all transpired, I have no clue. I have no, I'm not some shaman that's going to give some great detail on this, but I'm just saying that those 7 degrees of separation just came and pimp slapped me today. The niece of someone that I thought was a magnificent person back my sophomore year in high school walked up to my table, and I communicated with her, found out that something about this person, and it's pretty amazing realizing that we touch that many other people's lives, that we have the potential of touching people's lives that span huge swaths of society, that really hammers home the importance of us taking the time to tell people, to edify people, to build people when we are inspired to do so. Of course, edification only works when it's true. You can't BS edification. You have to be able to say things that are real, that say things that are meaningful. But I got a testimony today that when the Spirit whispers that you need to say something, even if you don't know how, even if you don't know what to say, even if you're not sure how to express it, you ought to go out of your way and do it. Try anyway. Who knows? Like I said, I sincerely doubt that I would have made any real impact in her life, but the habit of doing that might have made an impact in my life. And now I would be able to sit back with and think, well, I said what I could say. I did what I could do. Don't be the person that looks back and says, wow, I wish I'd said something. When the Spirit whispers to you that you need to build, to edify, to pour love on somebody, then you just need to shut up and listen and do it. And that's pretty much the that's what happened to me today. It's kind of strange. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that A, I thought of her name, B, that it turned out that we had that connection, and C, that hearing what really happened to her affected me like it did. And I'm stretching to try and come up with a life lesson, if you will, to pull out of that. But anyway, that's it. It's just one of those, a billion to one kind of coincidences that I think, sincerely, probably happen to us more often than we would ever imagine. If some random person walking up to me at my table was the niece of someone that I interacted with 35 years ago, that testifies to me that even with my small sphere of influence, I could have affected a difference just by edifying people that would have that kind of scope. And I want to encourage everybody else to take that lesson, to take that suggestion. Don't be the one that missed it like I did. So there it is. I'm still going to be thinking about this for a while, because this really did kind of hit at me. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a happy. Okay, so you heard the video. That was, I'm not editing it. That's exactly as it came out. And that was on Saturday. This is Tuesday, so you can tell by now I've had a chance to think about it, talk to some folks about it, get it square in my head, and so I want to make a couple of comments about it. First off, a good friend of mine whose opinion I hold in very high esteem, his thoughts were that basically this experience wasn't for me. It was for the niece and the family, knowing that, in her day she was a very well respected and incredible person, and maybe that would help them. But really, the lesson that keeps sinking into me, that keeps just gnawing its way into my psyche, is that the whole concept of our degrees of separation, that the people that we pass on a day-by-day basis, they may have experiences, they may have a sphere of influence, they may have people that they interact with that is across a huge chunk of society, and that we need to keep that in mind, that as we are dealing with the people around us, as we are interacting not just with our close friends, our sphere of influence, but really the people that we just interact with as we go on about our day-to-day life, that the impact that we have when it goes to that first degree of separation, then the second one, it could be global. We could be making we could be making an impact that crosses the entire country, the entire world, and that we need to keep that in mind. When the Spirit whispers to us that we should be nice to somebody, that we should take them seriously, that we should give them a blessing, that we should be nice or be helpful or whatever, when that Spirit gives us that kind of a direction, that we should listen to it. So anyway, those are the thoughts that I had from it. I kind of wanted to tie it up, and then I'm going to put these together and upload it to my channel. That's not one of the freakiest experiences I've had in my life, but it was one that's really come home to teach me that I have an influence outside of myself and my close friends and family, and so do you. And we need to listen when we get that prompting that says, go help this person, go be nice to this person, whatever. So that's my lesson. Y'all have a happy.